Welcome, Tiny Hands Big Dreams, here in southern Ecuador. So we're going to take a trip, like we do sometimes. Today is to YANTZAZA. YANTZAZA is the heart of the Oriente in southern Ecuador. It's where you go for all the stuff you need, so we're going to take a trip there. Now, if you're trying to build a property or a house or a thing, this is where you're going to go. We're not going to give you the glamour shots. We're going to give you this is the person on the ground, what you're going to see. Now, as you come into town, if you take that right there, you go up and around the city and it's a beautiful vista, but you do not get to go through the city. It's a lovely detour. If you're just driving through, that's your route. If you need stuff, in we go. All right, let's get back to it. So we're going to head into town. We're going to talk about some of the sights we see. We're going to see some normal kind of stuff. Now hang out with us for a minute. See what it's like. After you enter YANTZAZA, you get to this big roundabout. Now this is really important. It's a little noisy, but you have the bus terminal, which is kind of the central part of this area, and over here is the big Sunday market. It's like we call like a fairgrounds. It's traditional in the U.S. And that is the huge vegetable market. We did a video on it. That's great. We go there most Sundays, stock up for the week. The best selection, the best prices. There's a lot of construction in the area. They're redoing the roads, they're upgrading with water lines, pavement. There's new stores, new shops. We're going to go ahead and go down a little further into town and show you a bit of what YANTZAZA looks like. So we were just at the roundabout and the bus station down the street, and give you a better perspective. So if you come down this street, then we get into, this is that market, and it is packed. Right now it is empty. There's just some people selling platanos and bananas, local fairs, which seems to function 7 days a week for that, but really it's a Sunday market. It goes all the way to those trees way in the back. Here's a map that they have showing this is the roads that are getting paved, new water lines they're putting in. There's a lot of upgrades happening in YANTZAZA. It's really kind of cool. Now, as we get a little further into town, it starts to change. It gets a little more commercial. Everything starts to get a little tighter packed. There's another little hardware store on the right. There's a ton of them in this town. There's a ton of everything. There's no shortage of places, from cell phone stores to clothing places to motorcycles. Pretty much every kind of commerce you can imagine is here. There's some colorful flags. I don't even know what festival thing it was. There's a lot going on. That cell phone store that was just there on the right corner, they actually do full repairs. Dude will break your whole phone open and tear into it and replace jacks and things and chips. He's a good dude. Ooh, let's turn in here. And we're larger than regular people's here. So as we get into YANTZAZA, along the river here, which is pretty muddy today. They could be working on it upriver, or it could have rained upriver. It's hard to tell. There's a playground and an area. We're gonna walk over here and check it out. See some of the art. They even painted it for the birds. So yeah, just a little public area. There's another spot upstream where they actually made a big swimming hole out of the river with like a touristy area, and there's some restaurants. We're gonna go see that later. All right, we're gonna keep going. So this is off the main street. It's a typical side street. And sometimes it's neat to see what things look like off the beaten path a little bit. So down there is the main town square. That's the church at the end. So we're not far from what's kind of the city center. And you find things like this. This is a notary. Officialness. And then with all your smattering of random businesses. Alright, so right here where we're standing is this lovely little store. It has spices and chocolates and grains and like little specialty items. Oh, nice little store. I'll wander in here for a second. Chocolates, nuts, dried fruits, whole spices, coffees. There we go. It's a fun little store. All right, so we managed to get out of there with only a few things. Let's see, we got ourselves some coffee that actually smells really nice, some chocolate, and some dried mango for the kid. And we continue on with our day. This is the center square. There's better videos of the center square, but we're going to include it because we have the church behind us, the square. And this is frequently, there's events and festivals and things, and this is frequently filled with people in tents and all sorts of activity. And there's stores all over the place, and as is typical, there's homes above all of it. It's the mixed use thing is the rule here. Let's see. I think I have a friend over here. He runs a chainsaw store. I think we're going to bounce in there and see if I don't know. We'll talk to him for a minute. So one of the things that I noticed about Ecuador in general, and YANTZAZA is no exception, is there's a ton of art. And what's interesting is there's a lot of good art. And there's a lot of different art. And some is better than others. And there's a lot, you see on the schools, the military things, there's a ton of different artists. They give me a little space. It's condoned. It's part of the culture. You know what I also don't see? I also don't see a lot of tagging. I don't see garbage. I don't see the delinquency, the degeneracy. People respect the art. They leave it alone. This is in a public square. People play. It's still just fine. So there's the park. And there is Jorge's store. Yeah, we're going to go in there and talk to Jorge. This is my friend Jorge. He's got a store that sells different machines and things you would need for your property. Come in and look around for a minute.
See.
All right, so he sells different brands, steel, which I'm a big fan of steel. I think they're very good.
Hello, my name is Jorge. We are Comercial Fernandez here in YANTZAZA. Chris' friend, he comes here to buy some of the you need for your house, for your farm.
See?
And I don't know, have to visit me.
He's a good guy. He has the best prices as well in multiple cities. I have checked. But he has parts and pretty much everything we need. So we come here.
Sorry about my English. It's very poor English.
He speaks English. So if you move here, he does speak English. So if you take a quick look around, he's well stocked. Yeah, I get chains, I get the spare parts. Next door they sell boots.
Everything para el campo.
Yeah, everything. So there's maybe, what are some of these things real quick?
Picadoras, I don't know in English how you say. It scratches the, I don't know, the
We call that a
picadora.
What do we call this?
Brain?
No, branches.
Oh, wood chipper.
Wood chipper.
Wood chip.
So we have that sugar cane press.
Sugar cane.
Very important sugar cane press.
This is organic residuos. It crashes.
Por bono.
Yeah.
We actually need one of those.
And what is that?
This makes fine mulch for making compost.
Yeah, for me.
Pressure washers, water pumps, electric tools.
Electric tools and everything. For the chainsaw in the steel, the best mark in the world.
That is the model that I have, and I actually really like the little thing. It does very well for me.
You have a video with this
With this one.
chainsaw, making some, how do you say, tablas?
Yeah, cut lumber, dimensional lumber without hands.
Without hands.
Yeah, I start the chainsaw and I just let it go, and it just cuts boards.
Little hands. How's your channel?
Tiny hands, big dreams.
Tiny hands, big dreams.
Because I have small hands.
He's my friend, but he never invites me to his place.
We talked about it, but we're like, our little property is boring. You've probably seen.
No, I just want to try your salchichas.
Oh, the sausages. We do make good sausages. Okay.
Oh, your turkey.
See, the beef jerky.
Jerky.
We make that. We make. I'll have to bring you some.
You never.
I'm a terrible friend. Here, one thing that I do need to look at. Where was it? This.
That's an orange.
Then you see my wife smile. We occasionally buy like a big bag of limes, limon, for juice, and she has to squeeze all of them. Important.
So you need a man in your house.
Oh.
He's busy building my house.
Okay.
I have other projects. Excellent. Okay. So if you're in YANTZAZA and you're building a property, definitely come say hi to Jorge. He's a good dude.
Great. Don't forget to subscribe and follow him.
Thanks.
He's better at this than we are.
That's true. So this is one of the entrances to the central market in YANTZAZA. The streets surrounding it are hectic and chaotic. The closer you get to the central market, the smaller the stores get and the more tightly packed they are with all sorts of things. There's vendors behind us selling various fruit juices. We've got coconuts, some little like snacks. Ooh. Other fruits of interest in England. So anyway, we're going to walk into the central market and we're just going to look around real quick. They just built this not that long ago. It's a full like renovation. So if you come in this entrance, you come in, there's a bunch of juice bars. Now upstairs, there's restaurants, there's like big cafeteria seating. If you want to sit down and have lunch, there's all the aisles where they're going to sell fruits, vegetables. Down at the end is local things, purely local, which is a lot of platanos, citrus, stuff like that. There's dry goods. There's also the whole inside, as you can see down there, is lined with other stores selling all the normal kind of stuff. You can take a quick wander. So as we can see, there's all sorts of fruits, vegetables, spices. We get our dry goods. And all these little stores are just packed. Gracias.
Centro comercial Ciudad de Yantzaz.
Sí.
Ecuador.
Ecuador. Gracias. No, me gusta. There's some cheese. Other products. There we go. Alright, so more fruit, vegetables of all kinds. And there's little packets of squash, zapallo. It's good in soups. Herbs. Chayote. Should always have chayote. And then we go, let's see, the next aisle. This is the local kind of thing. So we have our platanos, our bananas, our papayas. These are commonly things that are sold locally or grown locally. Random chicken foot. And here they have the new meat faces, which are similar to the ones they got for the Zamora, which is nice. And this would be the meat section. Let's see, upstairs we get clothing, shoes, and there's actually, there's this aisle, there's another one on the other side by the windows. And the stores wrap all the way around. And here we have like the kitchens. So you pick your favorite person and you go and you have a delicious lunch. All right, I'm going to show you a typical hardware store. Try to get the name there. I'm going to use the front-facing camera because it is wide angle. So hardware stores here are typically pretty crowded with stuff. They jam an amazing amount of things into a very tight place. Now, that being said, most of it you have to ask for. So what is available out front is minimal. This place goes back at least 100 feet that I can't do. You have all sorts of things, like all the hardware, you just have to ask for it. Supplies, things. And this is pretty normal. Buenas tardes. And we get into paints, water pumps, sinks. Even the ceiling is covered. They have a lot. Es bueno. So there we go. This is one of our favorite micro mercados. Alright, before you get hit by a car. I just wanted to show you around real quick. We just like this little place. So it's really just a little grocery store. But they always seem to have sort of what we're looking for. So we get into your staples, and then spices. We'll buy some spices here. Tea to back up. Here's one of our favorites, is horchata, which is different from any other horchata you've ever had. It's made in Loja. It's very particular to here. It is delightful. It's all grown here. And then we get into, they have other supplies, they have bags, sacks of things, cleaning supplies. It's got a mixture of all sorts of stuff. Now, one of the things that's interesting is there's a bunch of these bags you'll see. And it just has their name on it. What it doesn't have is a label. And we finally had to ask. See, here's another one. Same bag. What is that? See, and that's the problem with like not being from here. Everybody here just knows what it is. It turns out that there's some things that they buy in bulk and then rebag, and then they're able to sell it cheaper. Local chocolate, delicious. But we needed baking powder and we couldn't find it, and then it turns out that this is baking powder and we had to ask, and it's just cheaper here than anywhere else. So yeah, just a selection of different things, and they have some drinks and other small stuff, little things for the home. Not a big store, but this is a typical micro mercado. So there's the tiendas, which are the smallest stores, micro mercado, supermercado, maxi mercado. There's like a range of how to classify your store. But it's always nicely laid out. The prices are good. And that's it. Gracias por permiso. So, one thing you're going to notice about YANTZAZA is the equipment. There is so much equipment for sale. Excavators, trucks, all sorts of stuff. Gold mining. They're doing a ton of gold mining. There's 2 major mines that are not far from here, and then there's a bunch more in the river. So you see a lot of it. If you're in the mood for heavy equipment, this is the place to come. It's just an interesting feature of YANTZAZA. It's part of the economy here. So there's in the larger hardware stores, giant piles of tubing. Every sort of supply, roofing supply. There's huge racks of steel of every kind on the end. There's gas, and then there's the gianty buildings next to us that have even more, from flooring and ceramics to just you name the material. So this is sort of the edge of town, and they have stuff like this too. Prices are good, quantities are large. I don't know, they're nice people. I know the owner. So that's our video of YANTZAZA. It's the heart of the Orient. It has everything that you would need to build and kind of grow a property or a business. It's a good place here in the Oriente. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you for the next one.